Greetings. I'm George Boss Ryan with the Get To Free Press, and I'm in Valdosta, Georgia. Earlier this morning, the Honorable Floyd Rose and black contractors came together at Serenity Church. Many people came, mothers, fathers, sisters, grandmothers, children, and they talked about getting some of the $88 to $135 million that will be spent to construct a new school here in Valdosta. 75 to 80% of the students that will be attending that new school will be black Americans. I was there because I want you to know the rest of the story. I was told by Minister Floyd E. Rose that he notified all news media networks in this area. And without criticizing any of our outstanding news media outlets, I'm going to say to you, watch the next video, and as you watch it, then go to Channel 6, Channel 10, Channel 27, and your local newspaper, and read what they publish. Watch the video footage that they publish to the general public. Because after all, you know that there's a great controversy in terms of how contracts was handled in the initial and current process of building that new school. So once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm not here to criticize. I'm not here to condemn. I'm only here to say to you that if others ignore the issues and concerns in the black community, then you yourself must pick up your camcorder, your telephone, and report your story, because we have waited for over 500 years in North America to be treated fair and balanced, and we see that it seems as if though the old Jim Crow mentality is knocking on your back door. Now sit back, relax, and listen. The Ghetto Free Press. We report what others ignore.
The only thing I want to say, don't worry about G.B.R. They from out of town. They already got the contract. They out of town to grind now. That's irrelevant. The buck stuff with the board of education. Amen. They got the power. Put some pressure on the board and the superintendent. That's how you get the job.
Well, we had on last week. Well,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
well, thank you. We were talking about having them bring back all the subcontractors agreements between JCI.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear back from them?
Yeah, I'm going to read that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so these road he's going to tell you about the letter. They say it's all over. You don't want to be there. So don't worry about JCI. They're already breaking the ground, tearing all the ground, doing what they're supposed to. They got a contract. They from Mosul. They from Atlanta. So don't worry about that, guys. What we got to do is contract, put some pressure on the superintendent and the board members. That's what we got to do. That'll solve a lot of problems. Then sit around and talk, and get that done. The man asks a question, how far we gonna go, how far you committed. 2 or 3 weeks from now, we go. They already say you ain't gonna do that. That's right. So prove you're gonna do something. Don't waste my time. Amen. That's all. And no folks can it. Right. That's all.
Okay, we're going to be out here in the next 30 minutes, I promise that. So, Neil has something to say. I think one of the folks that you said you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to address,
Yeah.
Brother Dickey, to answer your question when you said what are the qualifications. How you doing? You made a good point about documentation. Documentation is key in this case. There was an RFQ, which gives you the requirements of qualifications. And when you meet those qualifications, they can't turn around and say you're unqualified based on the requirement of qualifications. And these black contractors met those qualifications. They don't have the right to turn around and say you're point to where, even with JCI doing what they're doing, they know that they're getting into an area in which it requires a lawyer. And they're counting on the fact that, well, black folk are going to holler, we're going to complain, but when it's time to start shelling out money, it's time to start bringing lawyers in, we're going to back away. Because once they say what they say, and we say what we say, and an allegation is made, and they say that it's not, then it's now time for the court systems to start working back and forth. And I have seen injunctions filed to stop building.
Yeah.
When a viable complaint has been made. And there's enough evidence to prove that that complaint can possibly be true. It's up to a judge to decide whether it's true or not. You were totally correct. All of what we're alleging, every allegation we make has to have some documentation to prove it. Like, for instance, when we sat down with the bid packages, and we had a copy of the white bid packages which said, give me the last 3 jobs that you've ever had that's similar to this one. And the black document says, give me the last 3 jobs you've had in the last 5 years. Well, we all know that the economy was out of whack, and no black contractor in this room can ever boast winning a contract that size by himself. And they know that contracts don't go by themselves. They're collective deals. So,
So in other words, you're saying that the actual requests for information were different.
yes, they're different. And you have to have those pieces of documents to be substantiated. So we're at that point, but it doesn't mean that they can't go out there and an injunction be made to stop the building until this thing is sorted out, if you can make the right complaint with the right lawyer.
Well, that's the point I was making. The point I was making is that there's no validation without documentation, but that was Tupac with the low bid, and I heard you say something that might have been some things that weren't quite right under the table in that. So you're right, you probably could have allowed complaint.
Well, here's how, in terms of that strategy, and this is one thing that you always have to be mindful of, is that in the bureaucratic process, we have to use their own words against them in this case and get it to be effective. And that means the request for whatever requests have been made in terms of the bids, all of that serves as the foundation by which the attorneys would file any complaint. So whatever, you're familiar with the bid process here in terms of how the overall process went. We just need to get that long list of information and then highlight and then have the attorney file.
I've got some stuff on my computer. I'm telling you, white people do what white people want to do, and they make it legal.
Yes, sir.
Yo, don't forget that. They make it legal. You was there being talk all this talk. We got to get lawyers. Now listen, Dr. King went to direct action because it brought the issue in front of the people in the cabinet. So I'm suggesting that next Tuesday they're going to have a board meeting. All these folk here today, let's go up there. If you go up there, and we want to get him or whoever wants to make a presentation, I'm going to make a presentation, I'm telling you. And if you keep the pressure on, keep it in the news media, they can't stop you. But now, if you get lawyers that they're going to appeal, you want to appeal, they want to appeal, they'll have the school up. We need to stop
The
this.
objective is to stop this.
We got to stop it. I want to read to you, some of y'all that read real well, come in here and read this one. I'll read my own. You left your glasses. I want y'all to listen to this, and then I want you to listen to our response to it.
It says, Dear Reverend Rhodes, please accept this letter in response to our recent request for a meeting with the Valdosta Board of Education, VCSBOE, to discuss construction contracts awarded on the new high school project. After careful consideration and in light of our previous meetings on this issue, we decided to decline your request. It is the board's position that this bid process is instituted for the new Valdosta High School project was competitive and extremely fair for all submitting parties. In fact, the board stipulated subcontracts could be broken down into key aspects, i.e. material, labor, and etc. for smaller companies, such as local minority contractors, which expanded access and allowed them to submit competitive bids. While we understand that several minority-owned businesses are disappointed for not being selected, we are legally bound, and they put an asterisk, number one asterisk by that, and they quoted the Georgia law, which gives them the right to do it. whatever Rose just said, which are legally bound to select the lowest responsible bidder. In Georgia, the bid process is designed to protect the public coffers from waste and to assure that taxpayers receive quality work and goods for the lowest possible price. Approval of a process which favors the acceptance of the lowest bid is a constant theme expressed in cases decided by the Supreme Court of Georgia. In this case, those minority contractors that issued submitted bids that were higher than, if not double, the lowest selected bid. Therefore, the board had no other option but to reject their submission. That's not true. Beyond that, it is also understanding that you wish to have the board rescind a certain percentage of the awarded contracts so that they may be re-awarded to minority-owned businesses. However, after looking into the feasibility of such requests, we have concluded, that it would be illegal to take such actions. In Georgia, State Board of Education's rules generally have the force of law and are binding upon local school systems like the Valdosta Board of Education. See the case Hilton Construction Company versus Rockdale County, Board of Education, Atlanta, Georgia, 245, Georgia 533 of 1980. Moreover, State Board of Education rules, Rule 160-5-4, Section 18 provides, local boards of education shall not restrict the competitive award requirements on construction projects on the basis of race, religion, sex, disability, and age or national origin. Given your request would be in direct violation of the applicable state BOE rules and therefore illegal, and the board cannot and will not take any action to support the same. Lastly, in addition to the above noted reasons, the Supreme Court for both the United States and the state of Georgia have long considered race-based set-asides in local government contracts to be unconstitutional because they violate the Equal Protection Clause. See Richmond versus J.A. Crossing, U.S. 488, 469, 1989, and AM Subcontractors Association, the Georgia chapter versus Atlanta, 259. Furthermore, the Equal Protection Clause of the Georgia Constitution states, protection to persons and property is the paramount duty of government and shall be impartial and complete. No person shall be denied the protection of the laws. Georgia Construction Articles 1-1 in paragraph section 1, paragraph 2. As such, when local government entities like the Valdosta Board of Education institute programs or requirements that deny access to certain groups of citizens based purely on race, such as minority contractors, then they are in effect denying those citizens such protection under the law. As noted above, the bidding process instituted by VBOE in this case was impartial and provided every bidder with equal access and opportunity to participate. For the above stated reasons, we now consider this matter closed and will be moving forward with construction of the new high school. We hope this letter has adequately addressed your concerns on the matter, and we appreciate your interest in this thing.
Let me show y'all something.
Signed by who?
The last one, Board of Education, and it's all these people, they don't know nothing about this. They ain't no lawyer, they didn't know. And if you ask them to explain it, pure and simple, case closed.
Okay, so this is
my response to this.
Dear Mr. Payson, thank you for the letter dated February 9, 2016, signed by you and members of the Board of Education. We were disappointed but not surprised that you and the board decided not to meet with us. This is unfortunate. We are not talking about a legal issue but a said they were committed to doing. We're not talking about the right to bid, but the right to work for those who won the bids. Since you have chosen not to even sit down with us, you must do what we have to do. Your response was obviously a legal one, perhaps written by your lawyers. You and your attorneys are concerned about what is legally right. We are concerned about what is morally right and fair. In a democracy, all rights must be measured by the same yardstick. Democracy must not mean majority rule when the majority is white, and minority rule when the majority is black. It is not simply fair for blacks to get $477,888 or less than 1% of the $80+ million allocated for the building of the new high school, when approximately 80% of the children attending the school will be black, or our unemployment rate is 17.5% and rising, and the unemployment rate among whites is only 6.5% and falling. Who among you can say to the black community, that that is fair? Who? At no time did we suggest the contracts be rescinded so that the blacks can be given work. Where and when did we suggest that? Our understanding is that the Board of Education still owns the job and retains the right to suggest to the majority of contractors to make sure it was promised to the black contractors in the black community that blacks and local contractors get more of the work because it is fair. Under no circumstances will the Valdosta County chapter of Dr. King's Southern Christian Leadership Conference be ignored or accept what has been happening to the blacks for years here because attorneys have found a way to make it legal. Whites have always done what they wanted to do, then made it legal, with little or no regard for the needs of the blacks. Respectfully yours, Board Rose.
I had both of those letters read because I wanted you to hear in time what they said, but I wanted you to hear what I said back to them. I want to, my son is he's going to have some remarks, and we're going to go home in a minute, but I want to be clear about something. Next Tuesday night, there's going to be a board meeting, and I would hope all of us can show up. We're going to keep the pressure on. We're going to keep the pressure on. We'll decide after that what we will do next. The point that was made, about the kids playing ball. I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I can't speak for nobody else. I can't speak for nobody else. Let me tell you, they don't talk to us after Tuesday. When the schools, it'll be another 2.5 years before they can't complete that job on any circumstance. I'm willing to go out there on that field and stop that play, period, not move and let them put me in jail. I'm willing to do that. I can't speak for y'all or nobody else. But I'm not going to sit around here and watch these white folks do what they've been doing to black folks since I've been here and say that I can't do that. And I won't. That's me. I won't do it. And so, as far as that goes, I don't know. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, some of the black folks, you don't know how to do that. Well, they're going to say that until they keep reading about it, hearing about it. And after a while, they're going to say, you know, he's right.
That's right.
My kid ain't going out there. My kid ain't going out there. My kid ain't going out there. And all you got to do is stop one game, one time, and it'll be over. It will be over. Yeah, no, we're going to, yeah.
I just want to know what time
Oh,
is
Saturday,
the meeting?
7 o'clock.
Where?
On William Street. At William Street, at the Board of Education on William Street. 1204 William Street at 7 o'clock. Don't have to say nothing, but just be that we need to pack it out like we've done before.
I was just going to say real quick, I'm going to send Reverend Rose a list of attorneys that I know specialize in contract litigation that I've just known for all the years that interacted with me while I was at the City of Atlanta, so that we have some resources to ask what their prices will be, so that everyone will have a hard number as to what it will legally take to challenge this kind of action.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Well, Rose, I just wanted to piggyback on what you just said. Everybody is Mike Tyson until it's time to get in the ring.
Let's go.
I'm gonna tell you, the leader Blake called me the other day and talked about how they had to come up here yesterday. It's from where I live in Toledo. Call up to ask anybody. They ain't got nothing. They ain't gonna find nothing. And the folk from here done call up there and they done tried to find, ain't gonna find nothing. One thing that very few people have in the world is something we call integrity. And I told, where's my wife? I told my wife, I told this church, and I told everybody, I told the members of the SCLC that the one thing I want to maintain at all costs is my integrity as a man. That means that you don't let white folk buy it, and you don't let black folks buy it.
What I've learned about my dad is all about solutions. Growing up in Ohio, two reasons why I'm in Valdosta, because of my dad, and this is a very serious cause. Things don't happen overnight. Change don't happen overnight. But are you ready for the long haul? Now, these board members, do they own businesses? What we doing in Atlanta, do they own any business? The board members that own business, you're going for their business and boycott. It's all about money, economics. Until we start supporting our own, this is a waste of time. Right in protest, that's not going to fix the problem. It's about supporting our own. Since I've been in Valdosta, I'm trying to find some black-owned business. For some reason, I can't find one. Why is that? You know what the problem is? Us.
That's true.
We need to get these young people out. This is a whole new generation. We can talk all this stuff behind these closed doors, all in the pulpit, but the real work is out here. I've been in Chicago, met with some gangbangers. I was in Dayton, Ohio 2 weeks ago. I even spoke on the Sandra Bland case. I have my own national radio show, so I'm going to come down here and put national attention on this issue. This is real. But like you said, we was here for the long haul. When it get thick. Now, when my dad said go on that football field, he's real about it. I'm not going to let him go alone. If I need to come back down. But we have to unite. And you said that earlier, sir. Are we all on one accord? Amen. We got to unite, show unity. Because unity is power. Power is change. If we don't have that, we're wasting our time. That's what Dr. Kingdom had back and said they united. This place needs to be packed. Where's the church? I do understand. We got hatred, jealousy among our own people. Why? But we all fight for the same cause. We're all beautiful black people. Hello? Hello. So again, I just want to say that I will be coming back down here. We have a national human rights organization building chapters across this country. But it's not easy. To meetings like this. People are tired of coming to meetings. What is this? Yes. It's a thing called 10-10-50, and a thing called One Church Agenda, where the church needs to be involved. And I will explain that later. It's called supporting our own. So we got to start being on time. Hello?
Hello.
We got to start being on time. One thing I respect about white folks, they be on time. When they serious, they serious. But our meetings are starting to debate all the time. It's just the fact we're looking for solutions. Amen. And no disrespect to Dr. King, but I'm out here in the streets. These young folks ain't saying we should come out now. Like these Black Lives Matter, I deal with them all day. They want some solutions. Might disagree on radical tactics, but these young people are ready to go to work.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. John Roberts. Oh, yeah.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Pleasure to be here. County Commissioner DeMarcus Marshall. I would be remiss not to bring up a couple of things I think would be very beneficial to everyone here. Minority contracts is something that I've been targeting since I've been in office. And it's been a challenge. The challenge you all are facing is dealing more with policy, in particular, policy participation in that process. I can tell you what we did at the county as a way to infuse and promote local businesses. We actually currently have in place now a 5% preference policy. This means that if you're a locally owned business, that you get a 5% preference, meaning like even if you're outbidded by a company from out of town, you still, if it's within that 5% of that person, you win that bid. We were able to do that because it was not on the basis of race. It was on the basis of local contractors. So, with that being said, I hope that I can get more participation. Mr. Riley, I said I'll meet this occasionally, but coming to those planning meetings, budget meetings, citizens to be heard, and being able to address what other communities have adopted of similar size and issues will help. I would also go as far as like the younger brother Rose said, step a little further. Many of the issues I've heard have came from business owners and contractors that have been doing it 20 and 30 years, right? If you've been doing something 20 and 30 years and banking with a bank that won't give you a loan up front to bond, you need to get another financial institution.
Amen.
You need to leave that bank. We won't do that. We'll keep putting our money in that bank, and when we need money to go up front for bonding, for coverage or insurance, they won't give it to us. Leave that bank. It ain't for us. It's just something for us to put our money into. Next point, networking. I brought it to a couple brothers several months back about a black country club. Perhaps a black hunting club. They got them. You think they meeting in churches to talk about how they want to do us or what they need to do? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice that we have this facility, but at the end of the day, we're functioning almost in the slave post-Jim Crow era with the same methods and tactics. Business is business at the end of the day. If you all interested in a black country club or even a black hunting club, let me know. Because that's what I've been trying to get together, because that's what we can network and talk. Instead of when things go down, we meet at a church like we traditionally do the praying, like the young brother Rose say, and the young folks are tired of seeing it. I'm a part of that crowd. We see it all the time. We got to evolve our models at the end of the day. I would go further to say with the networking, myself, with Commissioner Evans, Alvin Payton, another sister from Georgia Power. We attended what they call the Home Builders Association of Georgia meeting here in Lowndes County. Out of 300, we were the only blacks. We're spending money here. Similar deal when it came to the Chamber of Commerce banquet. We're the only blacks there. If you're interested in some real power movement, some real issues, get some things done, talk with me. I'm here for you, I help you, but like I said, I'm not for someone saying they're with you and then you look back, they're not there. I'm talking about real change, and that's what the youth is looking for. Thank you.
I know I promised y'all that we're going to go home. Robert has something to say, and then we're going to leave.
Yes, I'm John.
Forget about Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at the Board of Education.
I'm John Robinson. I'm a former lead trainer of civil litigation last 12 years. Like Brother Rose said, it takes a long time to drag something out. We have a host of attorneys that is looking into this. We have Scarola, Dennis Kersey out of West Palm Beach, and they're the underwriters for 189 major law firms in this country. And we also have someone out of Albany that's looking. We've been around those toolbox. We are not going to stand idly by and allow this to happen this time. It's not just going to go away. There's a lot of promises to be made and a lot of lies have been told. This is a real code run place. And we got problems here. There's some serious problems here. Something got to be done. And I do believe that this is the verge of the breakthrough. I believe that God is bringing everybody together. People that never been associated with one another, that's coming together to make this thing work and make it happen. It's going to happen. We're not beating around the bush about this. This county has been run by a certain mentality for so many years. Upper white Escalon running the power to get blacks in office, and they're promised to do these things. And then some of the ones that don't have enough support to get things done. But we got to change that. We got to go out and reach out to people that live in Hudson, Dr. Overly West. We got to reach out to all of them so that we can get them people moved, that we can take this city. We don't have to take the city, not just not just sit around and hope that we get it. We got to take it. We want it, let's take it. And that's the only way to go about it. We got to have that attitude from the pulpits, from every organization. We got to take this city. There's not no beating around the bush. The Langdale, the Scrubs, the Reams, all the money. They built a bridge over there for $7 million. Everybody said that we should be going by the scores of it and the plans and how things look, but we didn't get any of that money. We built all of these other schools. We have been gathering evidence, and we got videos. We have a lady working out of South Carolina. I'm dead on out in the bush. We are working on stopping the project. We're going to file Title 6. We're working on that right now. In the meantime, we're going to file everything Pastor Rose got going, but we're building the toolbox. We are not playing about this. We're going to put a stop to it. We got the people that's going to have the money to take money to fight money, take power to fight power, and we're going at it. And I'm not going to be up here and hold you up, but we are going for it. We are going to try our best, do everything we possibly can to take this city.
But you want to say something? I am so sorry. Yeah.
You know, I'm really disappointed with the Board of Education, the council, and the mayors. I moved here, actually I was born here, but I was raised in New York. And I know there's no comparison to what goes on in the north and the south. But what you're going through now with the Board of Education, we're going through it in New York, in the suburbs. The bidding process, I followed the publication in the newspaper, but maybe it's an oversight that I didn't see. But there's certain things that were not published in the paper that I'm wondering if it was shared with the individuals who were submitting their bids. The packages, the closing date and time is important. Were they familiar or given orientation on how to complete these bids? There's just so much, but I can see the concern and the fight that's ahead. And you've been going through this for years. It's not something new, because it's going on in the north as well. And you have coded messages or sentences that distinguishes whether you are minority or not.
It's
true. Very natural. That's all.
Another thing, how many of y'all, don't lie to me, how many of y'all are going to be free and can come Tuesday night at 7 o'clock? Let me see here. 7 o'clock. Okay, you're free.
6:30.
6:30. 6:30.
You know, it's called
6:30. If you're going to speak, you have to sign in. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say exactly there to the white folks what I said here. I'm listening, and we're going to keep the pressure on. The news media will be there to make sure they get covered. Those of you who can, and I certainly would like those of you who know more than I know about this to be there to speak now. There's something on my computer, somebody that I don't even know, but good information about JCI have. They're crooks. They write up contracts. They write up contracts particularly for boards of education, and they put stuff in there that they know the Board of Education can't figure it out. That's why we need people.
And just to interject on that point about JCI, years ago they did a project up at Moultrie. We also bid that project for to give great numbers. They decided to do the same thing they did now. Before the project was over, in the contractual agreements to the masonry, they went way over budget. They went through 4 different masonry contractors on that one job before they actually completed. Same circumstances probably going to happen on this.
Amen.
You know, but they've taken the monies in certain areas where they told us, well, y'all got the laws. Even if you look at the prints, they got some medallions on the front of this thing, 3 up there like 7'4" by 7'4". numbers right there, where we had to do it, they didn't, in no way possible, allow this guy to be able to do this for the money. This the bid that won the masonry area came back to $2.4 million. For a job, a project this size, that's not feasible economically. It's not. You know, I've been in this business for 20-something years. My dad was in it probably 60 or better. It's not possible. See, that's why they were able to use those contingency areas to hide the money that they could also go back. Well, they need to change order for this, they need to change order for that, and there's the money. If they can run it like they want to, they can easily walk away with $12, $15 million. But they use the numbers and manipulated the numbers through the board, say these are the low bidders, these are the best ones, but they're not in a lot of areas tomorrow.
I got all that information. They've done stuff in almost every county in Georgia, and they always find a way to use the same people. I mean, the same people.
That's right.
I've got all that.
They're all in.
I think that was a question they ignored me with the Board of Education, because there's a state process that they could have logged into a website that would have done all the stuff for them, bidding lines, and they chose to do it all manually themselves so they can manipulate what was going on.
Right.
Shall we stand?
God, our Father, as we stand together here today, we stand as your children, all men and women, just like the children of Israel did, that were tired of their oppressors that held them down. And just as Habakkuk said in the 2nd chapter, he looked to the heavens and said, how long shall we stand for this, that our enemies shall hold us captive? And you responded to him by saying, write the vision and make it plain. Write it upon the clay tablet so that all that shall see it shall know that when it is done, I have done it for you. And then Habakkuk said in the 3rd chapter, though there be no fruit on the vine, no cattle in the stall, though the fig tree shall not blossom, yet I'll continue to trust thee all the days of my life. And so we stand here together, join together, hand in hand, trusting in the fact that you shall come as our provider, as our victor, as our fighter, the one whose shield we stand behind. Lord, we ask right now that you keep us united as one body of Christ, as one fighting force forward, ready to go fight every objective that is wrong. Bless this offering that was given this day. Bless those that gave, those that wanted to give, and bless those with a great desire to give. Be with us as we leave this place. Continue to protect us, walk with us, lead us through the shadows of death. These are all of the blessings we ask in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Let us all say amen.
Excuse me, what do you think about the meeting today?
Hey, I thought the meeting was productive. We still got a long ways to go, but productive.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Excuse me, well, you want to talk about New York? You all have some problems in New York pretty the same way?
Oh, yes.
It come with contracts.
So you got to wait with that.
Contractors, the school system, the Board of Education has been taken over by the state.
You got it right now? They don't need
Their school system is private. Well, the school system has been taken over by the Hasidics, and they control everything now. They've done away with sports and intramural activities for the students. They control the time for the graduation. Yet their students go to private schools. And the fact that the school board is being sued now, it's really a complete mess. And they are trying to avoid what they call what is called racism, but it is racism. And they buy homes, convert them to academies, to make them into schools so they don't have to pay taxes. And as far as like getting back to the contractors, there's a coded system. Mm-hmm. You can't tell them that it's open to all contractors who are eligible, but if you have coded systems, you can't really fight them. We've had meetings where the contractors would come, but they're not given any orientation to show them how these would be new contractors who are trying to qualify for the bids. But it's just a horrible thing. I'm just frustrated and tongue-tied.
I was very happy that you said something. Thank you so much. What's your name again?
Barbara Folks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And good luck to everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Please come on out and support us.
What do you think about the meeting today? How did you think it go overall?
I think the meeting was very productive. It was a very outspoken meeting, one in which it gave people a chance to speak out and be heard. The individuals that needed to hear what was said weren't here, but I think the people were tired of being stifled, and it's reached a point to where voices are now being heard and people are beginning to interact more than they've ever done before. They express feelings that they've had about relations here in the county for years, even some decades, and now it's reached a point where people are beginning to speak out. Those that have never gotten involved before are coming out to say, hey, I'm tired of the way it is. I want to be seen and I want to be heard, and I want to be counted fairly in the populace of the city and county of Valdosta.
Okay, what's your name and what position you hold here in the city?
My name is Darren Neal. I'm the pastor of Greater St. Peter Methodist Church here in Valdosta, Georgia.
Okay, now I heard you give a presentation before the Valdosta School Board of Education. What was your major point in that in comparison to the meeting that we see here today?
My point that was given before the Valdosta Board of Education, I'm one that believes in solving problems in an amicable way. When we approached the Valdosta Board of Education, we wanted to be heard and then to sit down at the table and solve these problems amicably. The school board didn't seem to follow such activity and I won't speak for them, but to us, the perception was that they didn't receive us the way we were being perceived. The outcome was to say that there's got to be a way that we can solve this problem when the men are only asking for less than 1% of 1% of 1% of the income to help move forward, and you're not even willing to give them anything. It tells us that we're not counted at all and that we have no value here in Lowndes County. And the way I see it is that when there are some that are counted as being more valuable than others, and those that are counted as being less valuable, after so much time of being devalued, at some point it's okay to hurt those that have no value at all.
And they didn't go to protest.
Okay, thank you very much. What's your name, man?
My name is Gerald Rose Pettis of New Order National Human Rights Organization.
And where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm originally from Ohio.
Okay, you was at the meeting today, in terms of trying to get some of those millions of dollars here on the local school. What was your take on what you saw here today being an outsider?
First of all, a little disappointed because this church should have been packed. This is a serious issue. This issue will not change overnight, but on Tuesday night when we do go to the board meeting, we let them know that we're not going nowhere. It's wrong. Valdosta High is a very historic city, especially with dealing with football. There's a lot of money in this city, but the question is, why are you not spreading the wealth out? And I think it's very important that young people need to get involved in this issue. No disrespect of the Dr. Kings and the Malcolm X. This is a new generation. My job as a national human rights organization is going to make this a national issue. Reach out to Black Lives Matter, Nation of Islam, let them know that we need to come down here to Valdosta, Georgia, to support this issue, just like the Kendrick Johnson case. This cannot be ignored.
Now you spoke inside in your remarks. You said something about the youth. You say that the youth
Very
don't
important.
You said, but you say that they no longer see marching as a solution.
They say that's not the answer.
Yeah, that's not the answer.
No. The answer is boycott. Supporting our own. Since I've been in Valdosta, the first thing when I came to Lowndes County is take me to a black-owned business. For some reason, people are, I don't know this or that. That's a problem. We're going backwards as a community. We need to continue to go forward. That's what I'm concerned about, not just in Valdosta, but across this country.
Can I get you to hold up the badge that you're wearing for me just a second, please? Because I have seen you in Atlanta on the Capitol steps in several organizations, and it seems to me that you're taking on the legacy of your father, Reverend Rose. And,
yes, you know, I tease him. He's the man locally, but I consider the man nationally, because what I've been doing, I've been to Dayton, Ohio. I've been to, I'm on my way to Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been to Dallas, Texas. But you know what I'm preaching? I'm preaching unity. We need to start working together. Can't no one organization do this. And that's been my message. You know, we all need to start working together because the enemy is already attacking us, but why we can't work with us.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem.
Peace be unto you. Welcome to Valdosta.
Thank you.
Greetings. I take it that you enjoy the video. I take it that you enjoy black pastors and people from the black community who cares about your children and how your children receive federal dollars for the schools being built here in the city of Valdosta, Georgia. This is all about our children. Let nobody fool you. But if all these millions of dollars continue to go to white contractors, or in this case, contractors from out of town, Valdosta will be a total impoverished people as far as it comes to our children. We must demand that the distribution of money, especially federal dollars that come through HUD and contracts, is equally distributed to all the people here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. Thank you for watching. When you see your pastor, ask your doctor, ask your lawyers, where do they fit into the picture of making things better for your children and your neighbor's children down the street? Because in the end, truth, right, and justice will win.
Please come on out and support us. Please come on out and support us.
Greetings. I'm George Boss Ryan with the Get To Free Press, and I'm in Valdosta, Georgia. Earlier this morning, the Honorable Floyd Rhodes and black contractors came together at Serenity Church. Many people came, mothers, fathers, sisters, grandmothers, children, and they talked about getting some of the $88 to $135 million that will be spent to construct a new school here in Valdosta. 75 to 80% of the students that will be attending that new school will be Black Americans. I was there because I want you to know the rest of the story. I was told by Minister Floyd E. Rhodes that he notified all news media networks in this area. And without criticizing any of our outstanding news media outlets, I'm going to say to you, watch the next video, and as you watch it, then go to Channel 6, Channel 10, Channel 27, and your local newspaper, and read what they publish. Watch the video footage that they publish to the general public. Because after all, you know that there is a great controversy in terms of how contracts was handled in the initial and current process of building that new school. So once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm not here to criticize. I'm not here to condemn. I'm only here to say to you that if others ignore the issues and concerns in the black community, then you yourself must pick up your camcorder, your telephone, and report your story, because we have waited for over 500 years in North America to be treated fair and balanced. And we see that it seems as if though the old Jim Crow mentality is knocking on your back door. Now sit back, relax, and listen. The Ghetto Free Press. We report what others ignore. Greetings. I take it that you enjoy the video. I take it that you enjoy black pastors and people from the black community who cares about your children and how your children receive federal dollars for the schools being built here in the city of Valdosta, Georgia. This is all about our children. Let nobody fool you. But if all these millions of dollars continue to go to white contractors, or in this case, contractors from out of town, Valdosta will be a total impoverished people as far as it comes to our children. We must demand that the distribution of money, especially federal dollars that come through HUD and contracts, is equally distributed to all the people here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. Thank you for watching. When you see your pastor, ask your doctor, ask your lawyers, where do they fit into the picture of making things better for your children and your neighbor's children down the street? Because in the end, truth, right, and justice will win.